DJI's new flagship drone, the Mavic 4 Pro, is finally here. And I know many of you are wondering, is the hype real? Because if you like drones and you've been on social media over the past 4 months, that's pretty much all that we've heard about, right? Well, in this video, I'm gonna show you if the hype was real or not. Now, when I first started flying this drone, I was flying it around my community, testing everything out that it could do, but I felt like it deserved more. So me and the family hopped in the vehicle, we drove about 9 hours, and when we got to the city, I discovered what this drone is truly capable of. Well, there isn't a whole lot of meat left on the bone when it comes to letting you guys know about all of the specifications, but I hope when you're done watching this first video on the Mavic 4 Pro that you'll learn enough new things to want to come back for more, because I plan to test everything that I can think of. Now, there are timestamps in the video description, so if you want to navigate to a particular topic in this video, I invite you to do that. So first, let's talk about the overall design of this drone. When DJI designed the Mavic 4 Pro, one of the most important goals to accomplish was efficiency. Everywhere you look on this drone is evidence of that. The aerodynamic gimbal design, the rounded prop mounts, the wing-like arms, the upward arched body, and so much more. Add to that a 95 watt-hour battery, and you have the longest flying and fastest flying drone in this category. I'll show you both of those test results here in just a minute. Now, the most notable feature, of course, is the rounded camera gimbal. It truly is unique, not only in its appearance, but also in its capabilities. The fact that it can rotate 440 degrees just blows my mind. Now, you saw a little bit of that in the intro. I think people are really going to be so creative with that feature. And I have to say also, this drone has the coolest startup sequence that I've ever seen. The propeller hubs are smooth and rounded on top and very easy to install and remove. Plus, they are really long, coming in at a whopping 10.5 inches. This is a pretty big drone, you guys, weighing at just over 1 kilogram and measuring 12.9 by 15.3 inches when it's unfolded. It has a commanding appearance, but when the gimbal is inverted, it kind of reminds me of that adorable robot, Wall-E. Overall, in my opinion, this is a very futuristic looking drone, and I love it. Next, let's talk about the camera system on the Mavic 4 Pro. I was going to make you wait until the end of the video to talk about this, but it just can't wait. So the Mavic 4 Pro has a 3-camera system. The main camera is a 4/3 CMOS sensor, and that's a 28mm equivalent. And it has an adjustable aperture of f2 to f11. And it can capture up to 100 megabyte images. That's incredible. The medium telecamera is a 1/1.3 inch sensor. That's a 70mm equivalent. And it captures 48 megapixel images. And then finally, the telecamera is a 1/1.5 inch sensor. That's a 168mm equivalent, and it can capture 50 megapixel images. Both of the telecameras have a fixed f2.8 aperture. Now, all 3 cameras can record in D-Log, D-Log-M, and HLG, which means that all of your footage at different focal lengths are going to look the same. So the benefit of that is when you edit different shots together, they all have the same look, and that's going to make your editing process so much less time consuming. Now, the main camera can record up to 6K video at 60 frames per second, and then the 2 telecameras can record up to 4K at 60 FPS. And then all 3 cameras can record 4K slow motion as well. Now, the camera system is housed in this unique rounded gimbal that allows you to capture some very cool perspectives, including that 400-degree camera roll, incredible upwards angles, and more. Each of the cameras can zoom. Of course, the main camera can zoom all the way up to 2.5 times, and the medium telezoom can zoom from 2.5 up to 6 times, and then finally the telezoom can zoom from 6x all the way up to 24 times. Only the main camera can record 6K 60, and if you're using the medium tele or the tele camera, those are only going to be able to record up to 4K at 60 frames per second. And also, one thing that's really nice about this drone is that each of these cameras can zoom those amounts in vertical mode as well. Now this right here, this is the Union silos in our town, and later this summer, a world-renowned muralist is gonna be painting it. They've been working on it for a couple of years, they've been raising some money, and they finally have enough money to make it happen. It's going to be such a cool process to document, and the Mavic 4 Pro, with its image quality and unique camera system, is gonna allow me to capture it in a way that nobody else can. I am really looking forward to this. Now, before we get to the safety features and the focus tracking and more, let's take a minute to hear about something that's gonna make you a more confident and skilled drone pilot. Learning how to fly and use this drone to capture amazing footage, or any other drone for that matter, can be a breeze with your enrollment into the new Aerial Photo and Video for Drone Pilots course from UAV Coach. Now, these folks have trained hundreds of thousands of pilots through their online courses. I used their Part 107 study course, and I chose them because their presentation is clear and they were always available and eager when I had questions, and the information is always the most current. Now, this course here has everything you need in one organized package. It teaches you things like how to perfect camera settings, how to capture shots that look like they belong in a movie, real-world angles, and techniques for things like real estate, landscapes, and journalism. You'll even learn easy editing workflows, even if you've never edited anything in your life. Now, this is just not YouTube-style tips. You're getting 39 lessons, guided walkthroughs, and even one-on-one help if you have questions. Now, if you're ready to start flying commercially and get your Part 107, UAV Coach offers Drone Pilot Ground School. Like I said, I used this course years ago and I still recommend it today. The practice exams are spot on, and every time that I had a question, I felt like they were really invested in me passing the exam. Drone Pilot Ground School was the first step towards making money with my drone, and I know it's helped so many others do the same. Now, they have a pass or don't pay guarantee because they are confident that you will pass on your first try after using their course. So use the link in the video description to learn more about UAV Coach and these proven courses. The obstacle avoidance sensors are on the top and the bottom, and they all work together using binocular vision and contribute to data in all directions. Now, that's a major change from the Mavic 3 Pro, having them on all sides, from 8 sensors down to 6. And then on the right arm, right on the front here, you can barely see it, but this is where the LiDAR sensor is, which can function in lighting of 0.1 lux. Now, I tested this the other night, and it performed just as it claims. All right, it's about 10 p.m. and we're gonna test out the obstacle avoidance when it's this dark out. So I got the Mavic 4 Pro. We're gonna go right stick forward. We're gonna fly directly at me and see if it stops. Ready? Here we go. That is impressive. I mean, it is very dark out, you guys. This will help in return to home situations where the lighting is less than ideal. Regarding the true obstacle avoidance capabilities in challenging environments, that will be in a soon to be released video. However, I did test out its abilities while focus tracking today just for a little bit. I took it on a walking trail and I had it follow me through some semi-difficult terrain, and it did pretty good. It only got stuck one time, and that's because it was fully surrounded by trees. It was like in a little circle of trees and it could not get out of there. But right after that, it navigated a pretty challenging pathway. So more testing to come on that, but I do think it's better. Now, it's supposed to be able to see things that are only 2 centimeters wide, which, if true, is pretty impressive. Okay, I gotta give this a try just for fun. So in my garden here, I have this sunflower stalk just sticking up, and I would guess it's about 2 centimeters, maybe a little bit less, but I'm gonna fly the Mavic 4 Pro directly at it. Let's see if it'll stop. So, should be pretty good lined up here. All right, full steam ahead. Yep, not going. Full throttle. So pretty cool. All right, let's talk about flight performance and battery life for just a little bit. So when it comes to flight performance, considering the speed, it's supposed to be able to fly 60 miles per hour, which is super impressive, right? So I tested it out multiple times, like with the tailwind, against the wind, sideways, different days. And even with the tailwind, the fastest I could get was 55 miles per hour, which, don't get me wrong, that's really, really fast, but I could never get it past that 55. Now, I think what happens here, just like in previous drones, it takes some time for that battery to become fully efficient. And maybe I'm just throwing a bunch of crap out there, but it has happened before where after I use a drone for a few times, like 10 flights, that battery becomes more efficient. So maybe that's the case here. So, but 55, still fast. Normal mode, I got it up to 40 miles per hour, and that's what it was claimed to do. So it did pretty well there. When it comes to like handling of the drone, like how the drone responds to my inputs, I really need to fine tune my settings and the control stick settings because it flies a lot different than the Mavic 3 Pro. Like I primarily have been flying the Mavic 3 Pro. I'm just used to the Mavic 3 Pro and how it flies. This flies much differently than that. So I think I need to just do some adjusting on the sticks. I'll share my best settings when it comes to the controls in a future video. So, but overall it flies pretty good. It's pretty fun to fly. When it comes to battery life, I did a battery flight test. I've done 3 of them. The best one that I was able to get is I flew it in the same way that DJI does it when they do a flight test. When it comes to battery life, not quite. They go from 100% down to 0%. They fly it at 15 miles per hour with 0 wind. I don't know how they do that, but so I did it just yesterday, or it was 2 days ago, and there was about a 15 mile per hour wind, and it was gusting up to 20 miles per hour. And I just flew around at the same height, right around 160 feet high, and I just flew random, directions or whatever. There was a few times where I actually stopped and recorded some video because the train was going over the trestle. So it was kind of a normal flight, right? And I took it from 100%, 99% down to 5%, and I got 43 minutes and 23 seconds. That is 85% of advertised flight time. That is the highest percentage of advertised flight time that I have ever gotten with a DJI drone. So battery life, very, very good. And again, maybe that'll become more efficient as well the more times that you use the battery. And then finally, windy conditions, like it's supposed to handle, I think a scale 5 wind, 26 miles per hour, no problem for this drone. You guys, it was yesterday, 35 mile per hour wind gusts, and it flew fine. Like I have no hesitation flying this drone in windy conditions. Like if it's 35, 40 mile per hour gusts, it's gonna be able to handle it just fine. Yes, your battery life is gonna be decreased significantly, but you're gonna be able to fly normally. Like the video just looks the same as it does if there was a 5 mile per hour wind. So very, very good at handling wind. So yeah, flight performance, top notch on the Mavic 4 Pro. I know I already discussed flight time, but let's talk just a little bit more about the batteries and the all-new 240 watt charger. So the battery is a 6654 milliamp hour as compared to the Mavic 3 Pro battery, which was a 5000 milliamp hour. Here's the thing, you guys, the battery is almost the same size as the Mavic 3 Pro. I mean, it's just a little bit thicker as far as circumference, but the length is nearly the same, and it only weighs 1/8 of an ounce more than the Mavic 3 Pro battery. So even though it has way more power, it's about the same size and about the same weight. So it just shows you once again that efficiency was a big design consideration for this drone. Now, the charger that comes with the Creator combo, the 240 watt desktop charger, it can charge all 3 batteries simultaneously. That's so nice, and it does it in 90 minutes. Previously, when you used the 100 watt charger on the Mavic 3 Pro, it would take 80 minutes to charge 1 battery. This is charging 3 batteries, 1600 more milliamp hours each in 90 minutes. So very, very impressive. Now, I wanted to see how quickly this charger could charge 1 battery from 20% to 100%. All right, charging 1 single battery. This is at 20%. I set the timer. Let's see how long it takes to charge 1 Mavic 4 battery with this 240 watt charger. All right, 35 minutes and 34 seconds to go from 20% to 100% charge. That is blazing fast to charge 1 battery. So yeah, battery efficiency continues to improve. Like I thought we were at the threshold already, but apparently not. Apparently they can get more and more efficient. So I can't wait to see what the future holds for flight time and battery life on drones. So the Mavic 4 Pro is claimed to have the most advanced focus tracking yet, being able to recognize smaller subjects and from further away. It's claimed to be able to recognize a vehicle from 200 meters or about 650 feet away. Now, of course, the first thing that I always try is to track my side-by-side, but for some reason, DJI just won't recognize an ATV. I really wish that they would add that update someday. DJI, if you're listening, please program it to follow a 4-wheeler or an ATV. But anyway, of course, it did not work yet again. But Then I noticed something. When I engaged the subject tracking, the drone was recognizing vehicles that were over 900 feet away. Now, I was pretty surprised by that, but I actually tapped on a couple of those vehicles that were on the highway, and it actually did try to keep up for a little bit, but of course those vehicles were going too fast. You know, that highway is about 60 miles per hour. There on the highway, it's picking up that vehicle on the highway that's 900 feet away. Like, that's just crazy. I'm using the main camera. There's another one. Let's tap on it now, though. I'll show you what happens. Tap on that, hit active track. So it starts to try to follow it. And then it goes behind the trees and then it loses it. So the disadvantage is you can't track something that's going 60 miles an hour, plus it goes behind the trees. So, you know, we're really trying to challenge it here, but I just thought that was pretty impressive that it can recognize something from that far away. But I will say that its ability to recognize a trackable subject is quite a bit better than the Air 3S. It was seeing vehicles that were parked in driveways that were well over 1,000 feet away. So then what I did is I hopped in my pickup and I drove out to the country, and I wanted to see if the Mavic 4 Pro could active track me at 40 miles per hour. It's claimed to be able to track you going that fast. Now, I thought that was a pretty lofty claim, and I was correct. The fastest that I could get that drone to follow me in sport mode with a tailwind was 34 miles per hour. So a little bit better than the Air 3S, which I got up to 31 miles per hour, but not that 40 miles per hour that it's claimed to get. Now, one thing that I did notice, however, like when you compare it to the Air 3S tracking, the Mavic 4 Pro was much more steady as it followed me. You know, the Air 3S kind of moves all over the place when it's tracking you, like it's trying to decide where it's gonna track you from, but the Mavic 4 Pro stays on track a lot better. And then I really like the auto mode now. You just push auto when it's in active track, and it'll decide like what's the best angle to get you from. You know, I thought, how does it figure that out? I don't know how it does it, but it actually does a really good job of doing that. You know, you can still swipe on the screen where you want the drone to go, whether you want to be close to you or far away from you, but just hit the auto button and see what it can do, because it's really, really good. Now, as far as the being able to track at 40, I just think maybe there needs to be a little bit of updating or something like that. I definitely think this drone has the processing power to do it, but we'll have to wait and see. All of the normal Quickshots modes are there. I'm not going to cover them in this video, but they did add a new one, and it's special for the Mavic 4 Pro, and it's called Rotate. And it automates that gimbal rotation move. You can set it to go backwards or forwards. You can set how far you want it to spin the gimbal, and you can set how fast you want it to go. It's a really easy way to take advantage of the rolling gimbal, and it's super fun to mess around with. Some other intelligent flight modes, master shots and hyperlapse are there. Nothing really new that I noticed on either of those, so I'm gonna skip those for now. For panorama, they added a new mode called free, and I love it. It's so cool to be able to choose what you want the pano to look like. You just set the upper left-hand corner, then you set the lower right-hand corner, and then it determines how many images need to be taken, and it puts out some really nice panoramas, and it does it very quickly. I played with this feature for about 30 minutes straight one day. I really think the Mavic 4 Pro is definitely more of a photographer's drone than previous versions. DJI put some thought into the photo side of things. When it comes to transmission strength, the Mavic 4 Pro is advertised to be able to reach up to 30 kilometers or over 18 miles with 04 Plus transmission. It's double that of the Mavic 3 Pro. Now, as most of you know, I don't do range tests here on the channel, but I can tell you that I have yet to lose signal with this drone. I've only been flying in my rural community here, so we'll get a true test when I fly in the city this weekend. But based on what I've seen so far, it's going to be just fine. Now, I want to spend a good amount of time talking about DJI's new flagship controller, the RC Pro 2. This comes with the Creator Combo of the Mavic 4 Pro, and it's yet another example of how convenience and efficiency are a large consideration on this release. Now, the first and probably most exciting thing that I want to let you know about is that this controller will be compatible with the Air 3S and the Mini 4 Pro, and maybe more drones in the future, I'm not sure, but those two for sure. So if you aren't ready to upgrade from one of those drones, this is the next best thing. Everything is just so convenient on this controller. Lift up the screen and it's on in about 1 second. The sticks, they're already installed. They just fold up and down with the screen. No more fumbling with trying to install and remove them. Also, you don't have to turn it off all of the time. it has standby mode. And check out what this means. I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. You can leave the RC Pro 2 controller in standby mode, and it only uses 1% of its battery per hour in standby mode. So you just leave it on all the time. So check this out. Let's start the timer as soon as I open the bag.
Updated.
Tell me that's not insane. That's like 20 seconds. Want to shoot vertical? Just flip the screen. Bright sunlight, no problem. 1600 nits of sustained brightness and up to 2000 nits. It's fully adjustable as well, so you can pick the viewing angle that fits you. It has a new rotary dial on the left side, which allows you to adjust your camera settings when you're in pro mode. You just tap it to choose the function, and then you scroll to adjust. When you're in auto mode, that wheel can be used just to adjust your exposure compensation. You can now leave your hands on the controller at all times. You don't even have to touch the screen. The amount of customization is something that people are going to love as well. The C1 and the C2 buttons on the back and the 5D button on the front can be programmed to one of 18 different functions. The right dial can serve as 7 different functions, and then a combination of the C1 and the C2 buttons along with the right dial can also be programmed. So many possibilities on how you can set this all up. Now on the bottom of the controller, you'll find the speakers, the card slot, the USB-C port, and a full HDMI port with clean video output. And then there's the microphone. You can connect your DJI mic to the RC Pro 2 as well. Now also, I haven't tried this yet, but apparently you can download apps to this controller, including ones that allow you to stream directly from the controller, as well as editing apps. It does have 128 gigs of internal storage as well, which is 4 times the previous version. So there's an incredible amount of functionality in this controller, and it's very exciting to hear that it will be compatible with other drones. There will be a dedicated video here on the channel going through this controller and everything that it can do, as well as the software. I hope I was able to provide the information that you were looking for about the Mavic 4 Pro today. If I did, click on that thumbs up. I appreciate that. Also consider becoming a channel member. I'm announcing it here, you guys. I quit my day job so I can focus on YouTube and real estate. So channel memberships are going to support me and my family and everything that we do here on the channel. So it's a little bit scary, but I'm also looking very forward to it, having more time to dedicate to you guys, learning all about everything that I do here on the channel. And channel members are going to be getting a lot more content now. I'm going to be doing live streams just for channel members. So a lot more fun stuff coming on the channel membership side. And you can join for like $2 a month. So appreciate you checking that out. There's a lot more to learn about the Mavic 4 Pro, so subscribe so you don't miss those videos and those tests. And finally, thank you to UAV Coach for sponsoring this video. Check out their new course. I think it's going to help a lot of people. Thanks for watching the entire video today, everyone. Have a great day. And as always, fly safe and fly smart.